him, of Oak Richardson as the lights go out. The race gets underway. Pretty even start from the two on the front. Roger Chesno makes a decent getaway as well from the outside of the second row of the grid, and he slots into third position, but it's Simon Walker-Hansel that's got the advantage over Oak Richardson. They take the sort of wide line into the corner, and then third place, I think it is Chesno. Is that still him in third place? No, it's Samuel Gorman, the 128 car from the third row of the grid that's got into third place. Chesno is fourth. Michael Pearce is fifth, but he's got a bit of contact. Oh, and a spin. Oh, my word. Well, we've got an absolute... It's like Macau, isn't it? the shipmaster we've got down there. There is cars absolutely everywhere. I've got a feeling they're all going to drive away from this in the end. Some of them with not all of their bits attached to them. Some of them having bits of other cars attached to them as well, possibly. But the big thing here is we're going to have a massive lead for the first two. There's one car that looks like it's out of it. That is the 129 car of Paul Barnard, I'm afraid to say. But the first two, Simon Walker-Hansel and Oak Richardson, have a lead of about 20 car lengths, as Oak Richardson, I can see from my window, is going up the inside of Simon Walker-Hansel to try and take the lead, and he's done it at Hamilton. So Oak Richardson gets the lead, and with this big gap to the rest of them, it's between these two, I think, Chris.
Scott Leach is the one who's come out in third position, but that was a real concertina effect with... it was Pearce, and I think even Tomlinson was caught up in that one as well. And there's a shame because Samuel Gormer had made a really, really great start and couldn't really do anything with it. There's quite a bit of debris down at the Wilson hairpin. As far as the cars were concerned, though, 'tis but a scratch as Oak Richardson continues to lead as they make their way into the Brundle and Nelson complex. Simon Walker-Hansel thought about the manoeuvre. They've got space to fight, of course, but if they continue to go gun-ho, then I'm sure that will invite Scott Leach into the fight. But this was kind of our clear top two from yesterday anyway. Around Coram for the first time at speed. Oak Richardson pulling about a car length and a half over Simon Walker-Hansel going into Murray's. See, just emerging, they'll pop up over the top of the hill any time now. There they are, just off into the distance at the end of the first lap of racing. It is going to be Oak Richardson who leads 0.4 of a second over the line. Scott Leach in third. And then it is the 97 of Jack Lawrence that's emerged in fourth position ahead of young Ben Smiles. And then the 168 of Zoltan Shabai and Andrew Robinson inside the top seven as well.
Yeah, so he came through from 15th on the grid to 7th on the opening lap. So he was one of the ones that I think managed to avoid the worst of that incident up at Wilson Hairpin on lap 1. There he's in the number 90 car. He's lost a position there to Martin Vernon, the number 99 car. Matthew Short may well get past him as well before much longer. But it's Oak Richardson with the lead of the race at the moment. Number 17, the 30-year-old Garden Centre Managing Director from near Buckingham, Preston Bissett. Been racing since 2022. Did some British Drift Championship racing as well in the past, and he's got Simon Walker-Hansel, yesterday's winner, challenging him. Simon Walker-Hansel's done BMW racing, Formula BMW, done some low cost as well, so lots of experience in different kind of things for the man from the northeast. Scott Leach, who I think has only ever raced MX-5s, there in third, and then you've got in fourth position the number 97 car of Jack Lawrence. He finished 8th place in yesterday's race, and he's got behind him 46 Ben Smiles, who was 10th yesterday. Ben in the BS Motorsport, Ben Short's team, that particular car. And he had a pretty good start to the season, but it's faded a little bit. Maybe just not enjoying Snetterton quite as much as some of the other venues. He's not been quite at the sharp end, although sort of fifth here, of course, benefiting from the incident ahead of him on the opening lap. There's a big gap back here to, well, that's Matthew Short, isn't it, who now has got himself ahead of Matthew Vernon and Andrew Robinson as well. This will be for 7th, 8th and 9th position. And then I think it's Sam Moody, number 96, behind them. Samuel Gormer, who had made a very good start to third, he was 16th at the end of lap 1, and he was trailing his bumper as well. I don't know if that has managed to come on, but he was trailing that bodywork after the incident at the hairpin on the opening lap.
So 10 minutes on the clock. Here come the leaders over the line. And yeah, Oak Richardson ahead of Simon Walker-Hansel, but Walker-Hansel with great momentum down the centre straight and on the outside of Richie's though, and then it is going to be Richardson who hangs on to it, but he's really coming under pressure now for this lead. Level pegging as they go into Wilson, and again Richardson just that bit better on the brakes and leads going into the hairpin, but he's really got to think about Simon Walker-Hansel here, and Scott Leach only a couple of seconds back there in third position as well. So a bit of squabbling would, I'm sure, invite him. It's pretty close between Jack Lawrence and Ben Smiles, who's just done the fastest lap of the race, the youngster. I'm almost afraid to say what year he was born in. 2007.
Makes you sick, doesn't it?
It's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? It's only in his second year of car racing, having come across from the Junior Saloon Car Championship last year.
Yeah, so it's good to have him in the 5 Club MX-5 Cup this year. A great way to hone your racing skills. Here you have Scott Leach, who has closed the gap to the top two. He
already
was 2 seconds behind Simon Walker-Hansel as they crossed the line at the end of lap number 2, and that gap is now pretty much non-existent, isn't it? So he's had a great lap here, and he did show this kind of pace yesterday as he came up through the field to get onto the podium. So he is going to trouble these two, I think, for the victory. They're working lap 3. I think there'll be 4 more laps to go at the end of this one. Probably going to be a 7-lap race. He certainly got away from Jack Lawrence in 4th and Ben Smiles in 5th. They too are well ahead of Zoltan Shabai in the 168 car. Zolly, the man from Bedfordshire, the IT manager, started his race in the Caterham Academy back in 2012. Did some graduates, the C1s and the Burkitt Relay as well. It's another Ben Short Motorsport Pred car, as is the one that we're seeing now, Matthew Short's car, in the number 72, ahead of number 99, Martin Vernon. Matthew Short, another stalwart of this category for many years now. Always somewhere there or thereabouts inside the top sort of third of the running order. Never quite at the sharp end, but never very far down the grid either. Richardson leading over the line then at the end of lap 3, but for how much longer? Because up the inside of him goes Simon Walker-Hansel. Looked like he was about to make a move into Riches, and equally we've got this scrap going on for 4th now. Ben Smiles and Jack Lawrence. Simon Walker-Hansel hasn't made that move stick yet. He's going to have another go at Wilson, but now he's sort of caught between attack and defence because Scott Leach right with them. Yeah,
really horrible place to be, isn't it? When you're trying to go for the lead, but you've got this even hungrier guy right behind you, and they'll be trying to get this move done sooner rather than later, I would have thought, into Palmer. It's very neat and tidy, slightly wider line for Oak Richardson though, and when I say wider I mean by about a third of a car width. That's the kind of margins we end up talking about, because it's hundreds between some of these drivers, and oftentimes hundreds deciding race victories as well. I think back to Silverstone, which was just some of the most brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing I've ever seen. And they are continuing to pull away from that battle for 4th position between Smiles and Jack Lawrence, of which Smiles is ahead of in now. So it's about 2.8 back to them, as Richardson leads them through Williams. See, Scott Leach lost a little bit of ground on this particular lap, so that's given Simon Walker-Hansel a little bit of reprieve and the opportunity to think just about the car in front of him, and pulls out to the inside down the Bentley straight. 6 minutes left on the clock, and we're about to have another lead change here with Walker-Hansel, but Richardson is braving it out around the outside at Brundle. That will give him the line into the right-hander at Nelson. Very nicely defended there from the championship leader.
I thought Simon Walker-Hansel was definitely going through there. I think you did as well.
Yeah.
But Oak did a really good job just to stick all the way around the outside, knowing that would mean that he'd have the line for Nelson, the second part of the S's. It's probably not helped them to get away any from Scott Leach, because he's right with them as well, of course, as they head now around Corman. And Matthew Short's had a spin by the looks of it.
I think there was contact. There was another car just going off there.
That's the Andrew Robinson car, isn't it, that's rejoining. They were together, those two, and Martin Vernon. but the leaders are over the line. It is going to be a change for second place possibly here, because to the outside of Simon Ward-Cancel has gone Scott Leach in the number 4 car. Can he go all the way around the outside of the grey and green machine? He's trying it, but he's surely going to lose out then. Richie's corner, almost mirror to mirror as they go into braking for the hairpin. And it is going to be the number 4 car, I think, of Simon Ward-Cancel that for the moment emerges ahead of number 13, Scott Leach, as they head down to Palmer's once again. This is just giving Oak Richardson just a slight break over the next 2 cars.
Yeah, it's great news. You love to see it in your mirrors when you're trying to pull away for the lead. And Scott Leach is not finished yet, though, as Ward-Cancel has to defend, puts it in the middle of the road under braking for Agostini. Leach trying to get a nice little up and under here and get the drag out of Agostini, and Ward-Cancel has recognised that immediately. We saw him doing a bit of this yesterday. Moves over, moves back across, maybe sometimes moves over for a third time, which is fine to do. It's breaking the toe. Yeah. It's when you've got people alongside you that it starts to become a problem.
That's right. So as we working now lap 5, it's number 17 Oak Richardson that's leading. Number 4 Simon Ward-Cancel is second. 13 Scott Leach is third. Jack Lawrence number 97 is fourth. Ben Smiles in 46 is in 5th position. Zoltan Shabai 168 is in 6th. Then it's Samuel Gorma, who's climbed back up the order very nicely to 7th place in the 1-8 car from 18th he was at one point. 99 Martin Vernon is 8th. Michael Pearce is 9th in number 17. Sam Moody number 96 rounds out the top 10, but the top 3 here, they're well away from the next 2. Ben Smiles and Jack Lawrence. And Smiles has got back ahead of Jack Lawrence on this lap, I notice. And then Zolly Shabai very much on his own in 6th position, as we've got 3 minutes of the race left to go. Coming towards us here is Samuel Gorma in the number 128 machine, who's made good progress, but I suspect we won't go any further than 7th, because he's got 10 seconds or more to make his way up to Zolly Shabai. Michael Pearce just going through shot as well in the number 70 car.
He's done well to get back up to 9th.
Yes,
as well.
Absolutely.
There's been some really good recoveries here from these guys who were basically like last at the Wilson hairpin on the first lap of the race when we had all those calamities there. It's just over 2.5 minutes to go then, so 2 laps left, and Simon Ward-Cancel's closed the gap right back up again. He'd lost ground to Richardson while he was battling with Scott Leach, but in fact now was going for the lead, trying to go around the outside. You're not going to nail Oak Richardson around there. But again, tries the up and under. And a slide there for Oak Richardson. That could give Ward-Cancel the run into Palmer. But again, Richardson's got the inside line going into the left-hander, so that will favour him as they come around the left-hander. Still Richardson who leads. He's done a great job of holding off the advances of Ward-Cancel so far in this race. But into Agostini we go. Still Richardson it is.
Yeah, so they're heading around Agostini at the moment, and it is still the same order, pretty equidistant actually, as they head through Hamilton now, with the blue car with the yellow stars of Oak Richardson, the garden centre man, leading the way from Samuel Ward-Cancel and Scott Leach, although I think Samuel Ward-Cancel was a bit slower through Hamilton there. Scott Leach took a lot of time out of him through the right-hander, and they're making their way onto the Bentley Straight once again, and down the back straight they will go, with a little bit of a breather over the rest of the field this time.
It's amazing how much it changes just on one lap.
Yeah, it is.
Ward-Cancel was really pressuring Richardson for the lead. Now suddenly he's got to look over his shoulder. Scott Leach is coming at him on the outside into the Brundle and Nelson complex. Now Richardson's been able to make this manoeuvre work, and Scott Leach is trying to make it work as well. He does have the line into Nelson, and a great manoeuvre done there. He's gone wide on the exit of the corner though. Is he just going to be able to hang on as they turn into the bomb hole? He is ahead of Simon Ward-Cancel, and still ahead as they come round Coram.
Yeah, and this is giving their Oak Richardson a big advantage though, as they're going to come round to start their last lap. Car 113 has got a penalty for track limits. That's James McCann towards the back of the field, 5-second penalty, so don't need to worry too much about that. We're going to get the last lap underway here, because there's... we're going to get the checkered flag, in fact, this time, so a little bit early. I think there was a yellow flag on the back straight, so maybe that's the reason why. So it's going to be a win for Oak Richardson then, and for second, just Scott Leach grabs second from Simon Walker-Hansel right at the end there. They wouldn't have known, I don't think, that it was going to be the checkered flag, but I think there was an incident on the back straight which might have been the reason for a slightly early checkered flag there. So 17 Oak Richardson gets the win, 13 Scott Leach takes second place, Simon Walker-Hansel number 4 takes third position, 97 Jack Lawrence is in fourth, Ben Smiles 46 is in fifth position, 168 Zolly Shabai is 6th, Samuel Gormer 128 in 7th place, 70 Michael Pearce is 8th, 99 Martin Verne is in 9th position, and 105 Roger Chesno rounds out the top 10. I think even if that race had gone another lap, Richardson probably would have won that one, do you reckon, Chris?
Yes, I would agree with that. I think the dispute would have been about second place, because I'm sure Simon Walker-Hansel would have been lining up a manoeuvre potentially into Ritchie's, and then, it's the checkered flag.
Yeah, exactly.
But, the call did make sense if we did have yellows out there, and especially as we are running behind schedule anyway. Unfortunately, that's just the way club racing has to go sometimes.
Absolutely right. So we'll have a look at the results of what was a 6-lap race, in fact, for the 5 Club Racing MX-5 Cup. It was number 17 Oak Richardson that took the win from number 13 Scott Leach in second place. Number 4 Simon Walker-Hansel took third. In fourth place, number 97 Jack Lawrence. Fifth place went the way of 46 Ben Schmiles. 6th to 168 Zolly Shabai. 128 Samuel Gorman was 7th. 70 Michael Pearce was 8th. Number 99 Martin Vernon was 9th, and Roger Chesno in the 105 car rounded out the top 10 ahead of Glenn Crook, Ian Tomlinson, Sam Moody and Amy Worthington. And over the page in 15th position, that's where we found Philip Barrett, Stephen Robinson and Andrew Robinson. They always managed to get themselves together, the Robinsons, somehow. Aidan Wardley from the back of the grid was 18th, James McCann with a 5-second penalty 19th, and Matthew Short rounded out the top 20. I
think there's been a bit of a Sebastian Vettel moment in Parc Fermé, because I can't tell if it was Scott Leach or Simon Walker-Hansel who swapped the second and third place boards around. The second place board is in front of Simon Walker-Hansel's car currently, and I believe they were being swapped round. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Let's go down to Kieran, so he can tell us what's going on.
Thank you very much. Right, they've just been pulled aside by one of the scrutineers because, Scott Leach had just pulled up in front of the second board and then swapped the boards around, so he's now in front of the third board, and you've got Simon Walker-Hansel in front of the second board. They're now been the word just been spoken to, so apparently some contact, but I don't know. Let's 17, 13, 4. Yes, he was second. There we go. So that's official. It's second. But winner Oak Richardson. That was a race.
Yeah, it was a fun race. That was good. Stop the commentators saying they haven't won since April now as well.
Yeah, it's obviously you had to defend a little bit, and then these two boys got a bit of fighting behind you. So just head down and just try to make the distance.
Yeah, it was just run lap after lap as well as I can. They were close, and there was the odd occasion where I saw Simon going to stick his nose down the inside, but I could see Scott catching. I know what Scott's like when he catches up, he doesn't hold back. So I knew as soon as he was going to catch, he was going to have a go. And that was like, I was thinking, if I have a go, I'll pull away here. And that's what happened.
Yeah. No, it's a nice way to obviously to start the morning for you. So congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you. Right, speak to second place. It is confirmed. Scott Leach, congratulations. Just about pipped it on the line.
Oh yeah, literally. He was really catching me. It must have been literally a fraction of a second, but do it on the last lap's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to us about what was the confusion there? What were they talking to you just?
Well, I was coming up there and I seen the 5-second come out on the pit line, and I thought, I bet I've got a 5, because I did have a warning, and I thought I've got a 5-second penalty. So that's why I changed second to third, because I thought I'm not going to be second. But fingers crossed, and great. Yeah, I've got second. Fantastic.
And obviously you had quite a fierce battle with Simon there. You know, very side by side throughout quite a lot of the lap. Talk to us about how. Is this a good place to go side by side and to consistently be side by side around this track?
Well, it just proves that the cars are basically the same, you know, so we're all at the same kind of speed and we're trying to keep with each other. So you're just trying to get that little bit so you do it. But literally going down the Bentley straight, we were side by side, but he made me work for taking him, so he took me to the limit. So yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. Well, nice way to end it. Congratulations, second place.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you. Let's speak to Simon Walker-Hansel. Simon, very, very, very close.
Yeah, it was good fun. I really enjoyed that. And the cars were so close, it was really good racing.
Yeah, obviously you were very close to Oak at one point, very close obviously with Scott as well. So go show obviously anybody can just come in and have a go at it. But is this track a good one, particularly for those kind of battles?
It is, and the slipstream's really strong. So when Oak and I broke away, I thought I'll just go with him because I thought he had a really good plan. I thought, yeah, we've got this not in the bag, but you thought you got a good chance if the two of us break away. And then we both had a few scruffy laps, and Scott started to close us in. And once that happened, we battled. I dropped back from Oak. Then Oak's tyres looked like they'd gone off, so I caught him again. I thought, we're back in it. And then I dropped the wheel on the dirt out of Agostini, and that was let Oak get away, and that was it. But I really enjoyed it.
Oh, so you got one more race later on today. Do you reckon you can possibly take the fight for the win?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any one of certainly us three could win, and probably a couple of others that had some incidents. But it's reverse grid, so we'll see where we end up.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on third place, and hopefully speak to you later as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, thank you very much. All right, so that's the MX-5s done for the morning. Now, they are out once again for the second to last race of the day. Just before we wrap up and round out for the last race before lunch, which is the BMW Car Club, I just want to quickly make a quick mention of something. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the weather today, and from what I've seen, the current weather conditions on the apps and everything is saying it is not going to rain. Obviously, this is about as reliable as weather reporters, everything, but the clouds are starting to look a little grey, but apparently it's supposed to only just be clouds, no rain. Also, there is quite a strong headwind now, which is just making it even better for people to be overtaking, and hence why we've seen a couple of on-the-nose photo finishes, because the straight has got a headwind, enabling the slipstream to be even more in effect. So, we've got BMW Car Club coming up next, so hopefully they can make use of those conditions.